walking 10 count?
Dog, I asked Paulie Shaw. I told you this story, and we laughed about it. But, dog, now thinking about it, I should have done something. I went to the Comedy Store. I'm in the back. You weren't there. I think you were coming in later. Yes, you were coming in later because on Saturdays I used to do close the original room.
Uh-huh.
Talking, bullshitting with Paulie. Everybody's in the back. No reefer, maybe a joint before I got there. You know, Saturday night, just like the girls. I get there. They say, Joey, you're up next. I walk to the thing, and as I'm walking, I walk up the steps to the original room, and Morgan's on stage, and Paulie's standing there laughing at her. And I walk up, and I'm like, damn, I don't fucking feel good. Like, this is not working. I was starting to get anxiety. I couldn't breathe. But I went to look at that window. For years, whenever I had anxiety in the original room, I had a window. When I'm on stage, I got a window on the right, remember?
Yeah.
And we could look out the sunset.
Yeah.
I was always good. That day, particular, when I went in there, I didn't see a fucking window. So I was waiting for Morgan to get off, and all of a sudden I got this anxiety, Joe. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't fucking breathe. So I walked down the stairs just to look at the door, and I got worse. It got worse. I couldn't breathe. I thought I was going to fucking have a heart attack. And I go, Paulie, I can't get on stage. I'm having a horrible anxiety attack. He goes, I just went up, dude. And I walked up there, and I told you. But I didn't explain it to you correctly because I was cracking a joke. I woke up at the 12-minute mark. I remember walking past Paulie, and that's it, Joe. That's it. And then I remember waking up on stage and people laughing, and I was probably on automatic pilot.
Wow.
I had a bit that it was on automatic pilot. That was a little scary.
That's when you got on Xanax.
No, it was a couple of weeks out. I went to the doctor, and he goes, what was that? I kept having these little panic attacks. But I was okay. I wasn't going to go to a psychiatrist. We were working our asses off. We didn't know what the fuck was going on. So I started taking the Xanax. And it would help it a little bit. I would take it on the road if I went on a plane or something like that. But you got to remember.
What does it do for you?
You got to remember, too, it was, you're a walking contradiction. I'm talking about myself because you said it best. I'm eating 2,000 milligrams of THC and scaring the fuck out of myself, right? You're walking around fucking scaring. Then the Xanax, I would take the Xanax to calm me down off the anxiety. Come on, man. That's not going to work.
Those edible weed sessions, when you do too many of them, I do think they make people very anxious. I think they just
I think they did too.
Shift.
Honest to God.
I think they
brought some more.
shift the pole of your brain.
You know more. I brought some more.
I'm sure you did.
But now I eat them more to sleep. I got them on a. My big problem, Joe, is still to this day is sleep. So now 2 nights, 3 nights a week, I drink a bodybuilder sleeping thing.
What do you have a hard time sleeping because you're not tired? Do you have a hard time sleeping because you're thinking?
I'm tired till 9:30. And I look, come on, man.
It's like the comedy timing.
I don't want to go to bed at 9:30.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never want to go to bed at 8 o'clock. That's when you know you're almost done.
Yeah.
I want to bed at 8. Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to stay up till 4, but I'm not going to bed at 9:30. So I'm tired about 9, but I push the envelope a little bit. I like to read, maybe listen to music. 11:30, I'm like you. I like to read shit on the computer. 11:30, I try to read at night. I turn the TV off. Once I go up there, bro, I'm thinking about the guy who came to my house who asked me if he could take an orange, but he took 3 instead.
He took 9.
He took 9 instead. Yeah, and you're like, that was 11 years ago, Joey. I think about the time I bombed in the original room following Dom Irera. Like, does it matter? I think about the time I ate a bucket of dicks in North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Does it matter? Does it really matter that you ate a bag of dicks? You know, I think of stupid shit.
Yeah.
And then I fall asleep eventually. I'll tell you what helped. Whoop. I got the Whoop watch to help me with recovery because I was lifting and going into jiu-jitsu and my back would hurt. So I want to figure out what kind of calories I could do, and I won't go over those. If I could do those 5 days a week, that's fine. But I can't go in there, burn 800 fucking calories in jiu-jitsu and expect to deadlift the next day. I don't have that. So I got the Whoop watch. The Whoop watch put me on to sleep. It's helped me sleep better because I finally realized, oh, you slept 4 hours last night. No wonder you feel like shit.
Right.
So now I'm in contest with Whoop. So I got it up from 4.5 hours of sleep to 8 hours pretty much. Last night I only slept like 5 because of the flight. But I'm sleeping 8 hours now.
That's great.
Yeah, now I'm sleeping 11:30 to 8. Don't get me wrong. Once every 2 weeks, I have a little hiccup. I go upstairs, I think of something, I go back down, I smoke some pot, I read, and I go back up, and I'm all right. But when I was doing comedy, there was no sleep, Joe.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you why?
Why?
8 cups of espresso a day. You know, everybody thought I would leave the store because I was going to do something bad. Do you know why I was leaving the store before midnight? Think.
Why?
Because Starbucks is open till midnight in Studio City. And God forbid I didn't catch my flat white before midnight. God forbid I didn't catch my grande flat white before midnight. And then I'll call you tomorrow and tell you how I didn't sleep last night.
So you were drinking coffee late into the... We would always have espresso after dinner.
Yeah, no. Now I have an espresso at 5 and I'm not sleeping.
That's so weird. I could sleep right after having one.
Oh, I loved it because in my world it takes you up.
Yeah.
So you catch it on the way down. I eat a chocolate something, I can't fucking sleep that night now.
Really?
I really focused on my sleep the last couple of years, you know, especially since I got this whoop about 16, 17 months ago. That's what's really improved in my life is the sleep. And I've been taking naps, too. If I go to jiu-jitsu, I do the blue belt class, I need a nap, Jack. I need a little nap from 5 to 6, you know. That's where I am. But when I started popping the Xanax, the high point was maybe May of during the pandemic. Like I couldn't leave the house without popping a Xanax, and then when I get in the car, I pop another one. And they would stay in your system. Thank God I wasn't drinking.
And what was that doing for you, though? Like, what's the feeling like?
Calming me down. I can't take sleeping pills, and I can't take the strong Xanax. So I have to take the little footballs. But I was taking 8 to 10 of those motherfuckers a day.
Jesus.
And then when I landed in Jersey, what had happened was, you know how you and Tom had that conversation about my tolerance?
Yeah.
Okay. That tolerance, dog, I think, as you could tell, I think a lot about this shit.
Yeah.
You had a conversation with me a couple of years ago about Yoel Romero getting punched in the face and his eye socket. And when he got into the green room, when the doctor saw him after the fight, his eye socket was healed.
It was healing.
Healing, okay.
Yeah.
I think about what you were talking about, my tolerance with the edibles and stuff. Now let's get back to early Joe Diaz. When I was a child, the doctor would have to come to my house 2 days in a row for years. They'd have to shoot me with penicillin on Monday and then come back on Tuesday and shoot me again because I would never take the penicillin. You know, I had a lot of problems with my throat as a kid and fucking tonsils and shit. So I was always in the hospital as a kid. I was a sickly kid till I was about 8. All those years, Joe, they would always have to shoot me 2 or 3 times with penicillin. The same penicillin they would give you one shot of, they'd have to shoot me. So I don't know.
So you've always had a high tolerance.
Always.
Interesting.
Except for alcohol. And even alcohol. Because I could drink something with Jamie right now and I won't fall over. I don't want to do it. But that's what's always pissed me off about alcohol. That I could drink a few alcohol shots, feel okay, but then if I push the envelope, that's when I feel shitty. But my tolerance with alcohol and with cocaine and alcohol, shit. I could drink a case of Budweiser, you know, cans. So
my friend Johnny, who had a coke problem, I always used to have to take him to the corner store, the liquor store, to get 40 ounces.
Yeah.
He would calm himself down with like a big malt liquor.
Dog, I would drink.
He was always trying to like
22 beers,
down.
22 beers, and it would calm you down. So when the Xanax finally, what I realized when I got to Jersey that year, I got to Jersey August 9th or something on your August something. 2 days after I got to Jersey, I had something like a weird mild heart attack. My heart didn't stop pounding. And that was because the Xanax turned on me. I didn't realize that till I went to the knee surgery. And one of the assistants caught it because I couldn't sleep. And they tried to give me something to sleep. And the chick goes, you're withdrawing.
Oh, from benzos.
She goes, you're withdrawing naturally. That's why your heartbeat's going up. That's why you're fucked up.
It's very dangerous for
So
those.
then she told me you have to flip it. So I had to read a journal about this, about transitioning. You just can't quit. You can't quit alcohol and you can't quit benzos.
Yeah.
You could die. So what I had to do was take whatever I was eating, which was 8 of those things a day, and work myself backwards.
How long did it take you?
6 months.
Wow.
Work myself backwards. Fucking tough to write, man.
I'm sure.
You know how it is with these fucking things. You got to dig deep and ask
Yeah, a
questions.
book is a lot of soul searching too, I'd imagine.
Yeah, no. While I was doing it, I was fucked up as hell. That's why I figured I'd do it then.
You did it while you were getting off the benzos?
Yeah, well, I just moved. I did the knee surgery. It was like 1,000 things. I didn't even know I was withdrawing, like I said, until I did the knee surgery, and something happened with my heart. And one of the doctors came in, and we started talking, and he kept looking at me weird. He was a Spanish dude. And he gave me his card, and I called him when I got out, and he goes, come see me. Something wasn't right that night. And he did a physical, and I went back to see him, blood, that type of shit, and he goes, everything was right, everything was okay. I don't know, he put me on a heart monitor. And he goes, your heart's fine. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And his assistant said, are you still taking the Xanax? And I go, yeah. And she goes, that's what's going on with you. Look at the charts, Doc. He's been on them since 2012. And I go, no. I just been using them since the pandemic started. And that's when she goes, no, you got to stop withdrawing. I didn't even know. I just had a horrible fucking feeling.
How long do you think it takes when you're on those things before you're addicted?
2 weeks, maybe.
Really?
Well, I would take them and then forget about them. I would put them in my top pocket and then go to the store and not take them. And then I would just wash them. There was a lot of times I would take them, I would bring it with me in case I got like a little fucking, But Joe, the funny thing about this, if I tell you, this goes back to when I was a kid. In the simplest way. You ready for this? I was a little fucking fruitcake when I came from Cuba. Do you know I sucked the pacifier until I was 6? So after I was 3, they took them away from you, but I'd hide them in strategic places. And whenever shit got dangerous, I'd go over, suck it, put it down, and then I'd fucking go back to what was going on here. So when I lived in 88th Street in New York City, my mom had a jukebox at the bar. So every week, the guy comes in and he gives you the old 45s. Is that what they're called? 45s? So I don't know what they were. They were all different types. Spanish music, black music, rock music. My mother had a great taste in the jukebox. So I would have fucking boxes of singles. I lived on the 3rd floor. And if you go to 205 West 8, even today, you pull up to it, you'll see where I live, where I grew up right there on the 3rd floor. But you'll see that there's a parking garage there. They never really, it's like an old building. Now it's redone again. They did something. But when we were kids, we played back there. So whenever I had anxiety, I would go upstairs to suck on the pacifier. I wasn't cool enough to put them on the street yet. Later in time, I would put them on the street and I would suck on them when I was playing basketball or something. If they called a foul on me and I would panic, I would go upstairs and I had a window that they couldn't see from below because it was the back of the building. So it was like an indentation and all our windows. You can't see that from there. So I would take those 45s and I would whip them. They're like fucking boomerangs. I would just sit there for 10 minutes and just whip them. And I'd hear people downstairs, what the fuck? Stop it, you fucking scumbag. What's going on? And then I run downstairs and all these kids would be holding on to their heads and shit. They're like, where'd you go? And I go, I went upstairs to go to the bathroom. You missed it. The crazy guy's throwing records at us. Do you know how long I did that for, Doug? I did that for about a year. I threw records at those motherfuckers. I cut them. I did so many things to those kids. They never knew it was me. But back to it, that's how I started going upstairs to suck on the pacifier. So I always had something. You know what I'm saying? I always had my little...
You wanted something to help you out.
I always had something to smoothen the humps and the bumps. I didn't know that shit existed.